Hello, my name is McKendra. If you have not been here before, I'm actually new, so hi. Say a little hi in the comments section down below, and then also, if you wouldn't mind, if you like what you're seeing, I would just go ahead and subscribe and like the video while you're at it. Today we are going to be budgeting our August budget, so I'm just preparing for this month that has just started and making sure that everything has a home and money is going to where it needs to go. So in my planner here, I have already gone and budgeted out everything in terms of the calendar and when things are going to be pulled from the account. This is kind of what it looks like. This is the month of July. We were very on target with everything. Staying very organized was super helpful. I highly recommend it if you do not do so. But for the month of August, I did go ahead and just do that. I have everything color coordinated as well as put on the day of when something will either come out of the accounts or go into the accounts. So I think that it's super helpful to refer back to this when I do my Sunday updates. And what I mean by color coordinating it, I just make sure that I have different colors for different things, one being for bills, one being for payday, such as income, and another one being for debt. So when debt is due, so when the payment is actually due, not when the statement has closed. And then the bills, of course, when they're going to be automatically taken out of the account. I do have my bills set up to an automatic payment. We've just found it to be a lot easier that way. In the beginning, it was very difficult to have it as automatic payments. We would go into an overdraw constantly, but now that we've got a handle on our finances, things have been getting much better. So I will just go ahead and put this off to the side, and I will go ahead and pull up my August budget template here. I will link the one that I use in the description down below. I highly recommend it. The TikToker, she's amazing. She's super fun. She's actually what really got me into budgeting. And I just love watching all of her stuff. I think that she just recently got married or is getting married, so her content's just gotten a lot more fun. But I did get her budgeting template. I love to just support small creators. So that is what I did. And I'll go ahead and pull up a screen here so then that way you're able to see what I'm actually doing. But first and foremost, I am just going in and I'm double checking our income of what I'm projecting for it to come into as. I'm not quite sure just because my husband and I's income, we are commission based, so things are not ever the same, if you know what I mean. So every month or every paycheck is going to be different than the last one. I guess a better way of explaining that is that we're just not on an hourly pay. So what I've projected for my husband and for myself varies, but I try to stick to the same amount in a way. For him specifically, his job that he recently got is much better pay than what we had before when we moved from Colorado. We just recently moved. That's why I'm doing an update, and that's why it's taken me so long. So for him, I kind of just budget a paycheck for both of them being around $2,500 each. And then for myself, I do budget my paycheck on the 10th to be a little higher. It would be around the $2,500. But my paycheck on the 25th is always going to be $1,600 unless I've hit a bonus of some sort, which typically ranges, but it doesn't include very much. So this kind of brings our budget for an estimate to come out to $9,100 for the month, which we're super thankful for. We're super blessed. We have worked really hard to get to that pay. It has not been easy. If you know anything about us and where we were sitting at before this, you would know that we were in the trenches. We were not doing well financially, which budgeting, I will say, has helped us a ton. So now I do move over to my fixed expenses. My fixed expenses are expenses that are at a set rate. They never change or fluctuate. They are always the same. One bill that I do have on here that does change or fluctuate quite a bit. Actually, I'd probably say about two of these would be our groceries as well as our APS energy. So just our utilities bill. That one does vary quite a bit just depending on whether it's, of course, summer or winter. It's not a set rate, unfortunately. But everything else, this includes rent, things for our kids, both of our phones, Spotify payments. I do include our subscriptions in our fixed expenses. It's just something that really helps me to look at, honestly. So I just kind of keep it in there, as well as car insurance, car payment, and then also our kids' daycare. So this does come out to an estimate of $6,029.47. So I've just kind of left that there. I do kind of project what I'm going to put into that account for our first paycheck. We unfortunately have not gotten to a place where we can budget for the month ahead. We actually have to budget every 2 weeks, which really works for us, honestly, but we are trying to get to a point where we can budget for the month ahead. I do already have money set aside. That's why you will see money in the actual buckets. So from there, I do move over to our sinking funds as well as our savings account. Our savings account, we recently have been able to start putting money into. However, we did have some unexpected expenses come up, which we did have to withdraw from. And we did have about $1,000 in there, but that's what emergency funds are for. So we are now working up to being able to save for that. So I do want to at least put $500 in there this month. However, I do have a goal set for the $1,000. This is where I am now also preparing for our Christmas fund. We are about 5 months away from Christmas, and I do want to save a certain amount, so then that way we're not scrambling by the end of the year in order to get the kids things, ourselves things. Last year we couldn't even get each other anything because we were so poor. So this is just your reminder that you need to start saving for Christmas. And we do also want to start trying for baby number 3 soon. So we are starting to put money into that bucket for the baby. Our goal is to have $10,000. We're not quite there yet to be able to put money into that and start dumping. So a little bit goes a long way though. From there, I moved down to my sinking funds. Sinking funds are things that are just changing, things that we're kind of saving for also. So it's not something that's going to be pulled from our account every month, but it's always good to have that money there just in case something happens and we're not having to pull from our emergency fund. So with that being said, I do have that set for our vehicle maintenance, some home improvement stuff. We do want to buy a home next year, so it's nice to just get a head start on that. We also put money aside for medical and dental. We do have prescriptions that we do have to pay for monthly, if not every 90 days. Things for the kids, of course, school, back to school is in town, so we are now starting to prepare for that as well. We do have money set aside for travel, gifts and birthday, and also dining out. So that's kind of what sits in our sinking funds. We are sitting at a total for a goal being around $1,000. However, if we cannot put that amount in there, we're not unhappy with it. We just want to be able to pay for the bills that keep the lights on. And then I don't know if I mentioned it, but for the savings goal, it does come out to be around $1,200 as well. From there, everybody is waiting for this one. Of course, our debt journey has been such a long one, but we have come very, very far. We had a couple of setbacks, but we are now on a really big roll, which I'm so proud of us for. As you can see here, our debt repayments, there is some colors going on, and I do have things organized in a certain way that work for me, but may be very confusing for you, so I'll kind of break it down. Of course, the 2 green ones here for the Platinum and the Target card, those are marked green because we have officially paid those completely off. Very happy about that. This upcoming month, I'm hoping to tackle at least 3 credit cards. Those 3 credit cards are the ones shown in the red. One of them being the Apple card, Discover card, and our Saver One credit card. I'm hoping that I can get all 3 of those paid off, if not at least 2 in the majority of the 3rd. We are using the debt snowball effect, so we are looking at essentially the lowest payment on one of the cards, paying that completely off, rolling that minimum into the next card that has the least payment as well. So you kind of organize them from most to least, which one has the least amount on the card, and working your way up. Also, sorry, our dog is in the kennel because if I took him out right now, he would be crazy jumping all over me. So we're just gonna work with it. With that being said, I am hoping to at least have those 3 credit cards paid off and all of the minimums met on all of the other cards. This would hopefully put us at 5 credit cards completely paid off, which I'm super happy and super proud about. We are doing really, really good work. And it honestly feels like it's starting to pay off. Moving was a complete setback. We used so much more money than what we had actually come in for the month of, April. So we are now sitting in a really, really comfortable spot, and I'm very proud of how far we've actually come. So with that being said, the goal amount of us actually spending for those cards is around $2,200. It just kind of varies depending on how much our income actually ends up being, because like I said, we're commission based. So we do have to kind of play it by ear in terms of what we can actually pay off and how much. We never want to be put in a situation to where we can't actually pay our actual bills, whereas, you know, debt is kind of the least of our worries in terms of what gets paid first. So with that all being said, our total leftover amount actually shows a negative $187. However, like I said, I am expecting my husband to at least bring home a little bit more. If not, we will play around with numbers to be able to make sure that we are not in a negative. Typically, we always have something left over. That's at least where I make sure that we have room or wiggle room for. However, when we do get paid, I will be able to go over that with you guys for our bi-weekly check and seeing where we're at financially. So with that being said, that's kind of where we're at for our budgeting at the beginning of August. If you guys liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up. I definitely want to do more of these, and I also want to share goals, future goals for myself and our family. We definitely have a lot of ideas, so we want to be able to accomplish those, and it would be really, really cool to be able to document it and share it with you guys too, from people that come or used to come from a very low income household to a household that has a family and is growing and is learning along the way. I think that that's really important to show that you won't be stuck for the rest of your life, that you can grow, you can learn, you will make mistakes, but that there's a way to always backtrack and be able to bring yourself up from the ground. And I think that that's really important. I think that that's really inspiring. Honestly, that's what led me to watching a lot of videos or TikTokers of people showing me their income, where they stood, where they spent their money, how they budgeted it. I literally watched so many of these videos, and it was really helpful to me to know that I was not the only one going through that. Without further ado, if you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, please heart it. Let me know if you guys would like to see more videos from me and what kind of videos you would like to see. I can definitely make one specifically about debt and kind of where we're sitting at with that and how we plan on paying that off, and also the time frame of that. I do have a goal for it, so please let me know. But it was awesome sitting here and chatting with you guys. Bye.